Welcome to Leeds, the beautiful unofficial capital of Yorkshire. It is a great place to visit for many reasons. B-roll of trains crossing bridges with vehicular traffic below, this being a TPE Hitachi A02 for one. But the reason I'm here is because it is the home of some of the first O2 Beacon Shared 5G sites which broadcast 5G and 2G, 3G, 4G for both host O2 and sharer Vodafone. We start our journey heading north from Leeds Central train station to this mast that many of you will recognise from previous videos. It features Ericsson AIR6488 Massive MIMO active antenna units for O2 5G, and then Huawei AHP, formerly defined as A144, passive antenna units for the remaining brands and technologies, specifically Vodafone 5G and Vodafone and O2 2G, 3G and 4G. Specifically, this antenna is interesting because it has 4 cluster ports which carry most of the interesting bits. So 2 of the cluster ports carry O2's 2300 MHz 88R from ERS 8808 radios, and the other 2 cluster ports are connected to ERS 8823 remote radios which have the 88R Vodafone 5G. One of the 8823 remote radios is visible roughly in the centre of this picture at the front of the pack of 3 remote radios. Performance wise, this site on O2 5G was delivering between about 200 and 350 megabits per second on NR, with variable throughput scheduled over LTE. On Vodafone, the NR throughput was between 100 and 200 megabits per second, with LTE once again delivering a variable but at times actually quite impressive throughput up to about 100 megabits per second. It is noticeable that on the O2 NR, 4 layers are being used at times, whereas on Vodafone the maximum is only ever 2 layers. This is a pattern that repeats itself on these sites where O2 has massive MIMO and Vodafone is ATAR. For our next 5G site, we head northeast to a beautiful area with nice gardens and a church. Now this site is similar in some ways and slightly different in others. It features the same active antennas as the previous site, Ericsson AIR6488, and from a remote radio point of view it's near enough identical so far as I can tell. But the main passive antenna in this case is a Commscope RRZZT4S4-65B-R6, which carries all of the technologies other than O2 5G. Performance from this site was about 180 to 250 megabits per second from NR on O2, and actually very similar numbers off Vodafone, but only using 2 layers in Vodafone's case. The last site that we are going to look at today is ATAR for both Vodafone and O2, with a rather different antenna configuration. So this uses 2 passive panels per sector, the first of which are Huawei ATD4516R9s. These carry the O2 2300 MHz in the usual way, as well as one operator's 5G. The other panels are the Commscope RRZZT4S4-65B-R6 antennas. These carry the other operator's ATAR 5G as well as the remaining 2G, 3G and 4G. Performance of this site from O2 was quite variable and not all that good, but Vodafone was performing very much as they were from the other sites, perhaps expectedly given that the others are 88R as well, whereas from the O2 point of view this is a little bit different. Thanks for watching this video about the O2 Beacon Shared 5G site in Leeds. I hope you've enjoyed it, and in case you're wondering what the Easter egg in one of the opening shots was, well, there's one of these shared 5G masts in the background, specifically a massive MIMO one, very much like the second site that we saw earlier, with performance being very much the same as well.